Hey there and welcome to MineCraze Cosmos. This once again is Noxstar, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about the subject of pranking. Now, pranks come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. There's a small little gift prank where you give something funny. There's the massive prank where you completely reconvert their house or do horrible things to them. There's a whole variety, and personally I haven't actually been involved in very many, only a handful of activities that I've done. As you've seen, I've received a few, but yeah, there's the whole range. But I've sort of developed a sort of a theory about, what makes a good prank and, how to reply to pranks and things like that. And we're going to discuss that a little bit. Now, a while ago, here we are building this lovely ship, planning for a voyage. Presumably. I mean, that's what ships are for. And we had a very serious safety issue. I had neglected to consider lifeboats. Now, I hadn't eaten any lifeboats at all, not just a matter of not having enough. This could have ended in a major Titanic-like disaster. I mean, there's swamps right there, there's lily pads. If we hit a lily pad, this would be the end of us. And, hundreds of people could have drowned. I don't know if you'd really fit hundreds of people on a ship this size, but that's the principle of the thing. Chris comes along and he says, "Yeah man, here's some lifeboats, you need them." And sure, there's none on the ship yet. It's not complete, so there's not really any need for it. And besides, it's right near the shore, but we have a nice handy stockpile of them down under this cow, in fact. There's like many chests full, and when the time comes, thanks to Chris, I'm going to remember that safety issue and remember that hazard and remember to include lifeboats before we actually set sail. And so he really saved us. So I think technically it was sort of a prank. He came and left me something that was pretty large scale stuff everywhere, and it was an unexpected random gift as such. So, yeah, and I think it's time we repaid him. And I think the thing about pranking is, sometimes, yeah, you go and prank someone just because you can. In this case, I'm pranking someone back for pranking me previously. So I think in such a case, really the ideal thing, let's put my helmet back on, should make the punishment, I mean obviously this is a nice gesture, but the punishment, in quotes, should fit the crime. So, if someone pranks you with this little small gift, you give them a similar scale of small gift back. If someone completely obliterates your house, yeah, you can go a bit larger scale. And you might want to do the same thing. If someone just makes a thing that kills you, you might make a thing that kills them, sort of thing. Something along the same lines of scale, and even type. So, I've in this case, Chris, I was checking out his base. He was actually showing this off in a video a while ago. His base has a pretty big safety hazard too, which I think he's not quite unaware of, but I think we need to rectify the situation. So let's head over there. So here we are at Chris's castle, which I've shown before, but yeah, he's actually started working on his own little ship now. Compared to the Battalion, it looks like it's going to be fairly small, but like maybe a quarter size type thing, but still it's pretty awesome. It's good to see some other people doing some ship-like things. It's more fun to have the waters more populated. I hope he remembers to bring some lifeboats. But yeah, so if we go into the castle now, yeah, the other week, I fixed his door up for him, and he's got those other two doors, which I also have since done, and I left my little calling card just to mention, hey, Noxstar's here. This one here. This is the place that Chris has to do his enchanting and things. And this is his anvil, heated over this lovely lava grill. Now, there's a thing with anvils. If an anvil breaks when you use it, suddenly the things you are holding and working on go flying out all over the place. Or sometimes you can just have stuff randomly dropped and then you quit and things go in. you could lose quite valuable items, because this is just iron bars just floating there over lava. If you chuck something in there, it's gone. That's not the worst of it. Let's just set up an example. I can't set an example up here. Silly idea. There's not enough headroom. But if we go out in here, there is. Iron bars. Yeah, they make a nice platform you can walk on. You can also fall through. Yeah, it's not like you always do it, quite, but if you get right in the middle of the gap, you fall through. Now, this is the place where Chris does all his anviling and stuff. And you're going to be working on that anvil. You don't want to step in there as lava. Sure, it's nice to heat up the forge and stuff, but you're going to die. That is like a big, serious safety hazard. He needs a safer place to do his anviling. So that's what we're going to do. So he's got an anvil, but we're going to provide him with some safer anvils. That's just, oops. I accidentally broke your stair. Please forgive me. Alright, so I think the best place for this is probably right in the middle of this big open space. There's plenty of room. Let us begin. Let's see if we do maybe that one there, that one there, that one there, that one there, and that one there, and this one maybe this way? Huh! Check that out. I just gave you 6 anvils, man. 6 anvils. Anvils are pretty expensive, but yeah. I've got these anvils all in. Heh. I'll teach you to put boats all over my place. Use them anvils safely. Safe anviling. No more danger. You've been pranked, son. So, I hope Chris learns from this. Be very careful what you do to me, because I will do very, very nasty things back to you. This has been Noxter in the Cosmos, pulling a very nasty prank on Chris. Well, nasty and nice. Obviously, I have given him a safe place to do his anviling. So that's nice, but nasty in the sense that now he's got all these anvils. He probably doesn't really want them there, but at least he can anvil safely. So, thanks for watching, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye! So I thought I'd come up here just to shoot a little outro type thing, just to show off the carnage we created. You see it down there. And I just sort of noticed, from up here, you can hardly see that. It's just one little pile of anvils. It's like... And compared to the number of boats he gave us, that's like not very much. I was thinking maybe we could add a few more anvils, just because that is a little bit pathetic. And then I thought, well, problem with that is anvils, as we said, they're quite expensive. They're like 31 iron each. That's like practically half a stack of iron. So that's going to take me if I want to get a significant number of anvils, that's going to take quite a lot of iron. Fortunately, here's some I prepared earlier. Let's stack them all together. It looks less impressive this way. But you can see just how many there are. 5 stacks of anvils. That should make a slightly bigger mess. Now, I was then thinking, that's all very well. I mean, we could just stack random anvils all over the place. But where's the fun in that? Wouldn't it be cooler if we, instead of putting anvils around here, we put them around there and had them raining out of the sky. Kong, 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 you blong. I was thinking, that's all very well, but you can't just stick an anvil somewhere and have it fall. You're going to need a few other supplies. Something like these ones. I thought, this is a really good idea. What are we waiting for? Now ideally, we'd have each anvil mounted on some sort of device that would drop it at random intervals or after a random time. But the problem with that's a lot of things. So we've got the 5 stacks of anvils. So what instead we're going to do is we're going to have 64 different points from which the anvils are dropped, and they'll all end up stacking up. So you'll end up at each point there will be a stack of 5 anvils eventually, and it's going to be random still, but they'll end up landing on top of each other, which is, you know, not ideal, but it's a bit simpler to do and fit. So I've sort of spaced this out. They're going to be in a grid sort of pattern. Again, ideally I'd have them sort of more randomly scattered about, but this is just simpler to wire up. So there's going to be these torches here. So along here it's raining, here, 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 by here. There's 3 in between them this way and 4 in this way. That's just how much I was able to, with the system I designed, have it spaced. So the way we're doing it, I tried a few things. The first thing I tried to work with was with chickens. A bunch of chickens up there, and when they lay an egg. Problem is chickens only lay eggs, I think it's every 5 to 10 minutes, which is, it's a little bit long. We want them to be happening a bit faster. So what I ended up working with was using tripwire hooks, because they randomly cause block updates for no good reason. Which means all we have to do is sit one of those next to a bud switch, and that will detect it. And the bud switch, if we're using a piston for that, I just want to check where I actually started, because I lined it up so that it would, I'm trying to remember, I think it was 2 spaces between where it dropped. I told myself I'd have to remember. But yes, so if you're using a piston, we can use that to drop the anvil as well, which is quite convenient. And also with tripwire hooks, you can have more of them or less, depending on how frequently you want them to update. I tested it, and I'm only going to be using just one, because we want them to be fair. I mean, there's going to be a lot of these things. We don't want them to all fall within like a few seconds. We want them to be plonk, 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 all over the place. Alright, we should be nearly at our limit. We also don't want to go all the way to the sky limit, which is right here. No. Here. Yeah, 255. Because we need enough space to do all our wiring. So we're going to go, I've just got a quick screenshot here, and we need to go down a bit from that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just go down 10 just to be on the safe side. That was scary right there. Stupid thing nearly bounced me off thanks to that silly glitch. What do we say? 1, let's go to 245. Hold shift when doing this. Woo! The nerves. What? 248. We're also going to use this gravel pillar as a means of setting it off, because obviously we don't want the thing to activate and start dropping anvils before we finish. So we're going to have a system of wires that will lock everything and stop it from working, and that'll be powered by a torch which is going to be on the side of this pillar. And that will provide a means to activate it from below, because we just destroy the pillar from the bottom, and we will all be happy. Alright, now I just need to go down there and double check the distance away it was that we wanted to start, because I was silly and forgot. I mean, I think it was just the 2, so we got that torch to first anvil. Alright, let's head back up there then. Okay, so I'm using this light blue wool for all the constructions, just because I figure it might be a little bit less conspicuous because of its colour. Fog will probably make it blur out anyway. And for scaffolding, I'm using oak leaves, just because they make pretty good scaffolding. Mobs can't spawn on them. They're pretty quick to destroy and collect with the shears. So yeah, pretty nice. Alright, so the first anvil wants to fall down here. Now, let's see. That's when, when it's extended, the piston, we've got a piston with a block on it, and when it's extended, that block wants to be sitting here. And that's where the thing starts. Alright, so this is where the anvil ends up dropping. We've got piston there. Wait, no, this can be our block. Alright, so we have 3 blocks here with redstone wire. We'll need to get rid of that so the anvil has somewhere to fall. So that's block, piston, and the thing goes above it. Just another quick check. Yes. Alright, so we grab a sticky piston out of our toolbox. Very convenient invention, that. Alright, good. Perfect placement. And let's just use a planks for that there. That's just to differentiate between the different types of blocks. There'll be a torch here, so that when it's extended, it'll power this wire. Then there, and then there's a torch here, block here. Get rid of this guy, use an accident, and wire there. So that's powered by the torch, and because of its location, it's providing power to the piston, but the piston does not realize it. So if we were to update it, say with just a torch will do, then it'll stick out, and because of this wire, it automatically updates it again when it resets, so it just goes, pops in and pops out, which is enough. If there was an anvil sitting on here, it would drop, it gets pushed out by the piston, just because that's how it does, but that's ready there to catch the next anvil. So at the moment, that's just not really achieving anything, because it needs an update, but all we have to do is make one of our tripwire hooks, and we'll make a few, and we can just put this somewhere where it's next to the piston, maybe even just down there, and every now and then that'll do its update and drop an anvil if we put anvils there. Obviously we're not going to do it yet, because as we said, I want to set them all up, lock them all in place, and then we can set them all off at once. So basically, I'm going to go ahead and do this another 63 times. Won't that be fun? this is ready to be loaded pretty much. Didn't take me quite as long as I thought, but it was still quite a while. So this is a master line that goes along here, and then these individual lines are the ones that will lock it. So the repeater goes into this block, which powers the wire below it, which is this one in the bud switch. So if that's on constantly, the pistons will be held constantly out. Now, I did have to adjust it, which now just had the wool going on there and the wire to go straight down. That will get powered by the torch, which could have some minuscule detrimental effects on the timing of things. So yeah, this wire up the back goes along everything. And here, I ran out of repeaters, and I didn't have stone to make more, so I made one of these old school style repeaters, just to bring back the memories. And hopefully everything is updated by now. Some of them took a while before they first set off, and you can actually test that they've been working, because when I built them I had them in their retracted state, but as soon as they got an update they would have unretracted. So what remains to do now is to, well, first of all lock it on, and then load it up with anvils. So, and then we just got to destroy everything. Let's grab our anvils. There should be enough for 5 on each one. So if we're going to destroy all this. Sure, actually we can do it now, I guess. So pack that up. That up. Where'd our shears go? Here they are. And then that. And then torch on here. That will lock the entire system and stop it from working. Then all we have to come along and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. All the way along. 64 times. To attend to is we need to leave a sign. Oh, didn't make really enough of those. So if my calculations are correct, the spot where I'm standing is where one of the anvils will land. Now, I don't think it's very likely that that one won't have fallen by the time he comes to read this, but in the event that it hasn't, I want him to be standing here when he's reading the sign, just in case we can catch him with an anvil on the head, because that would be awesome. Now one thing I am a bit worried about with this is that he will come from somewhere far away, or somehow the thing will get set off earlier or become loaded, and he'll just come back and all the anvils will have already fallen, but there's not much you can do about that. And obviously, because I've got to run here so that doesn't happen, we have to, like, I won't be able to see how well it works until I see Chris's video. But, oh well. Let's just put a few torches. So I'm just building my flag, because that's the best way to make a sign. I also, just as a super precaution, there's a couple of villagers in this house. I left them there, I put a block in the door so they can't get out, just in case somehow all the villagers happen to be under anvils when they fall and they all die. I don't think it's very likely, but you never know, just in case. So, in order to come along here, what are we going to say? Hi, Chris. I noticed that your anvil was in a very unsafe location. I decided to help you out by providing you with a few anvils that are more safer, easier to access, safer to use. Your anvil was in a very unsafe location. I decided to help you out by providing you with a few anvils that are safer to use. That looks right. How do we want to sign this off? Today's weather proudly brought to you. Would that have fit up there? It would. Today's weather proudly brought to you by Star. That looks pretty good. Alright. So the only thing left to do, well, apart from, I don't know if I want to collect any of the stuff that's still up there. It's mostly just junk. I can come back for it later if needs be. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to fit it all unless I do another trip, which I couldn't be bothered. So, what I want to do, I want to set this going. I don't know how long I want to wait, because they might start raining pretty quickly after it gets activated. Then I want to get it out of that portal so the chunk quickly unloads. Hopefully not much will have happened by the time Chris comes along and goes, why the heck are anvils raining from the sky? But again, I won't get to actually witness it myself unless he happens to manage to catch it in his recording, which he probably will. I want to collect some of this gravel, I guess. Let's get out of here. Bye-bye. Oh, maybe I should wait for the gravel to at least finish falling so he doesn't come along and go, why is there gravel falling from the sky? Let's just grab a little bit more. Oh, it seems to have done. Oh, first anvil has fallen. First few anvils have fallen. Let's get the heck out of here. Come on, stop falling, anvils. So he'll come along, there'll be a few scattered. Hopefully they'll still be falling by the time he reads that. Now, it's possible someone else might come along to pay him a visit, so let's just put a barrier over his portal warning them that that might not be a good idea. Of course they might decide to not heed the warning and go ahead with it anyway. But let's just do that and say, let's say, area under quarantine. No unauthorized access. That looks really stupid. Area under quarantine. There. Hopefully people will come along and go, yeah, let's not break that, and go past anyway. And hopefully no one comes from the other side. So there's a lot of hopefullys, but hopefully they go well. So this will be the end of this episode, but if you're seeing that, that means that Chris has discovered that. So he's probably got a reaction video, which will be in the description, so go check that out. Because it'll be funny, and you get to see if this actually works or not. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully you've learned a few tricks about creating your own weather systems. Have a good day, and I will see you next time.